Hello, fellow engineers, and welcome to another episode. As, again, the sun is gloriously rising over the horizon, and the city skyline is starting to take shape with a few buildings that I have placed there so far. Now, where is my spectator camera? It is by the city. I've been laying out the grid of the city. I am not sure if I want them that far apart. I think maybe that far apart off this main highway, and then I'll do some like one-way side streets between them, and then do buildings a little tighter together in the sort of the quadrants of the city. I'll do some road networks and do some cool intersections, and maybe I can set up some traffic lights on timers and such, so that way like there's lights changing at every intersection. This is going to be a huge city. However, to build the city is going to be a lot of work. I am going to 100% need to leave the finishing touches to build and repairs, because going through and picking out any missing things, like this antenna isn't finished and some of this stuff isn't finished as well. I have to go through and make sure to get those all done. But the large building will be done using building size printers like I just did for the apartments here. The problem being is that one printer, which I have removed because we're done with it for now, we need that to be flexible in where and when it is printing. So we're going to make it mobile, and that is our ultimate goal today, is to tempt Klang and build a printer that is capable of printing this building. Oh god. So if we come on down here to appropriate height, you know, here's a rover, we would be this height as our character. Oh boy. That's a tower. I don't even want to know how many stories this is, but I love the design of it, and we are building it all the way up to a beacon on top. Look at the height of this. So, we need to build something that has enough pistons. Thankfully, we have the 1x5 piston mod, so we have this extra long piston here that we can use. But we need to build something that is capable of bringing a printer head up to this height, which is gonna be silly. So let's get to it. So over here in the utility area, I have started a build. As you see my character standing there. And quick load. I just want to press F6 to get back to my character. We're going to build something here. So I've got a bunch of materials. And we're ready to go. God, I'm pressing tab to open my inventory. Satisfactory just came out, like, yesterday. And I might have been playing it a little. Just a little. So, yeah. Let's see. We're going to do some conveyor stuff. So, what I need to do is I need to make a giant nested piston. I need to first start with a conveyor and then another conveyor. And the reason why I'm doing that will become apparent, because that conveyor there is actually going to be part of the floor. And it will be the way that we connect this thing to the area around it. So, let me just get this laid out here real quick. I believe it's a 5x5 area is what I need for the size, for the amount of bullshit that I need to do. So the first up will be a piston on the top, and then we will do the standard of curved tube, pointing downwards, and then a medium tube, because it is the exact same length as this longer piston, which is so bloody convenient. And then we're going to essentially spiral out. So the next one will go up here, the next one will come down here, go up here, come down here, and come all the way around back to here, and then we'll step out one, go all the way around this whole thing using these pistons until we get to here, and then this will have a rotor on top that will allow us to do some other stuff. So we're going to get pistons everywhere here. It's going to take me a little while to get this all laid out, but we can talk about a little bit of stuff while that is occurring. So I'm thinking we can make this thing and then literally just make the city in a series of live streams, maybe, because when it comes to just printing a building, it's going to be rather boring, actually. Not anything I can make a video about, because it'll just be plugging this thing in and then letting it go for an hour or something like that in order for it to fully print a building. And I definitely, once we get the city majorly done, we're going to do a tour of it. All the buildings that have interiors, we'll do tours of the interiors, and if not, we'll just do a nice drive through the countryside sort of thing. Alright, so now we've gone around the whole inner sphere like that. So from here to there, to there, to there, to there. And now we go out one more and down. And the way this works is if you do it correctly, and you do it this way, remember that the reason why we're using the conveyor tube is not only the fact that we need to move resources out to the end of them with the welders that will eventually be there. It's because they don't have full collision. So essentially, we're making a grid here where piston, conveyor tube, piston, they're always beside each other. They're never two pistons beside each other. So that means they'll all move nice and smoothly with absolutely no issues, which is great and allows me to get this done really quickly. And then, once I've got this all placed, we'll put some cargo containers, maybe, and a whole bunch of atmospheric thrusters on this, and get this thing capable of flying, which will be the best thing ever. But I'm just going to finish off these pistons and get them built up, which I'll start my build repairs here, and be right back. Okay, and with this last piston here, that is the main body of lifting pistons. So this is each pair of visible conveyors is a piston. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pistons. 13 pistons. Alright. Let's throw an advanced rotor on this one, which will then be a curved conveyor tube. And now what do? We add more pistons. That's what. We add pistons in this direction. And oh, that's going to swing because it has no power. We might want to add a battery to this thing. Not a small battery, a normal battery. Temporary battery down here. Let me just go and build that. Like, do I have the stuff I need for it? No, I need more power cells and computers. I can do that quick. Just need to drop off my stuff so I can Oh, I actually need power cells. Oh, hey, they did it for me. Never mind. Thank you, Build and Repairs. You are very convenient. Alright. So, now that you have power, will you stop swinging, please? And let's set you. You're currently... Let's get you back to 0, please. Velocity. And, yeah, everything's kind of shaking a little bit. How about we go and take these pistons and put on that shear inertia tensor, how about? So that we don't have that shake. That's a little bit more stable. Good. And you don't have any rotation speed. Lock up for now. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Advanced Rotor. So then, within these pistons here, we're going to repeat the same process, but just horizontal this time, as we're going to want this thing to be able to reach out from wherever it's parked and, you know, reach out and touch the building that way. As you know, if we just have it a fixed distance away, then this thing will have to park literally right beside whatever building that we are building, and that's not going to be useful. It's going to need to do that. And then one more piston there. Excellent. So it can reach 3 pistons out in terms of its distance. So that should be more than enough. Again, we'll reaffirm this shared inertia tensor all the way through. And I keep everything nice and tight. Then from here, we shall do a one extend, a corner, one more, and a corner, and then a single long piece. And then a single corner pointing downwards. And then I'm tempted to put a regular piston here. Not one of the big ones, but a regular one. Just so we have the ability to lower this down to where the sort of the base of this will be, which is right here. I want this thing to be able to essentially, so if I pop in my spectator camera for a second, fly over to the city. I want this thing to be able to fly in and land on one of the roads and then get its welder head down to road level so that I can start building these structures upwards. Because if I can do that, then structures like this, I can build the whole thing at once. So I think one piston here pointing downwards will be enough to do that, combined with the fact that I'm going to need another advanced rotor on this end and then a bunch of welders. So, how many welders can we fit before we start getting in the way of our lifting contraption? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's swinging away. Looks like we maybe get about 10 in there. Oh, and these guys are... They need to be all shuffled over so that they can to build on that, because it is too far away. It's probably out of their area. Alternatively, I can just run a single long tube and put another build and repair out here, because they'll all happily build that. And then these guys can build up the rest of the thing for me. Build the repairs, we'll turn them on. We'll quiet them down, and we'll set them to fly mode, and get them part of the build and repair group. Excellent. We just need motors, eh? Now, is my build and repair program running again? Ah, no, it's not. There you go. Now you're getting the materials these guys need. And now these guys will build more over here, and also they're the same orientation, so it should be fairly easy for me to show their area and extend them. So this would be, need to go to its direction here. They have labels somewhere, don't they? Or nope, doesn't. All right, but that's fine. I can just watch it in the background here. Which direction do you need to go? Vertical? Nope. Forward offset. Yeah, there we go. I'll just give it 50. That should be more than enough space for it. And we'll toggle the area off. Excellent. Okay, so now it's going to build up all of that, and I can add the other 10 welders to the other end here. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the idea being is that similar to how I did mining rigs and stuff, I'm going to have these spin, and then every time they do a rotation, they'll increment up one block. And I'll do that with a programmable block and a timer using DF Percussion's piston control script. So I have the majority of these pistons here being the vertical pistons, and then, you know, set them at 0, reach out with the sideways pistons until I'm square over the top of the blueprint that I'm going to use, start these things spinning, and then every time they do a spin, log it, move up a rank, like move up a level, 2.5 meters across all these pistons. And this should work quite nicely, actually. So let me add a few more blocks here, and I want to set down a seat just so I can fully depleted in a day. Good. Plenty of power here. So I'm going to plop a temporary seat just for the moment, just so I can get this stuff all set up, and we can test to see how high these can go. So I'm just going to put in here quick just test, and I just want to identify which ones are the horizontal ones real quick. So those 3 are the horizontal, and this is arm, which everything's jiggly. it's getting a little frightening, but hey, that's part of the fun in Space Engineers. If you're not tempting Klang with your designs, you're not doing it right. So advanced rotors, share the tensors, all the pistons, no, all these pistons, including the normal piston, will share tensors. Okay. These 3 are going to be pistons, or horizontal, and these ones are going to be pistons vertical, and you are going to be piston arm. Now the 2 advanced rotors, I'm also going to make that as a pistons arm, just so I have a group for everything, so I can just deal with groups. You are advanced rotor arm, And we should rotor lock you for a moment here. Everything's just... It's stuck to the ground. Everything's all locked up, but it's still jiggling. Clang, clang, I am tempting you. And you are advanced rotor. What is this? Horizontal. That's what you should be. Okay. So how about we go and see how high this can get. We going up, boys. How fast can I make this go? 0.5? Shall I try that? It's 0.2. I don't want to break it. It's gonna take a while to get to full height here. Oh! I didn't put a... God damn it! I didn't put a frickin' piston in there. Why didn't I put a piston in there? Oh, well, that's stupid. I'm gonna have to... Well, at least I can save the rotor head up here, and I just have to rebuild a few pieces of it. Okay. I gotta fix that up. Pistons vertical, reverse. Get back down here. God damn it. Okay, if you ever do this kind of thing, I'm gonna show you how you can fix it. We need pistons and landing gear. We're going to try to put a piston in the right spot here so we can hold the top while we disconnect it from this rotor so that we don't lose this stuff, because I don't want to rebuild that. I want to just save it. I mean, I have like infinite resources, but I'd rather just screw around with this and not rebuild it. Okay, so the part that is good is this piston here. So let's use that as the base. Actually, no, let's do this right from the bottom here. Build and repairs are going to build these up. That's fine. We want to get this up here until the landing gear is just about there. Then we'll put a little piston and we'll put a landing gear. And we'll extend this little piston out a little bit. Maximum distance, we'll just have it be like a meter. And we'll grab that thing. Excellent. So it went to 0.37, so we'll go 0.4 for now. So that's all locked up. That should be good. We now detach from here. And that will float there. That's all nice and secure. We'll actually increase this maximum distance a little bit. Up to, say, 2 meters. To just move it out. And now, I get the joy of grinding this back and repositioning all these stuff. God damn it. Alright, this will just be a moment. I can probably use these build and repairs to help me by getting them to grind some of this back for me. Well, I'll be right back after I fix my issue. Okay, and with this advanced rotor, I can't replace it there because the part is in the way. I want to keep that part there. I just need to move this piston a little bit higher. Get that thing out of the way. Place the advanced rotor in there. Make sure to cut the part off because we're not going to need that. And now we can set this at its minimum distance, which was like 0.3 something that it wanted, and bring it back in. At least 0.3 is about where it grabbed it. And since everything is still nicely aligned, we can get this plugged back in. And the pistons that are there currently, these ones, all want to be part of pistons vertical, because those are the only ones we have actually connected at this moment. So that redoes that group there. Excellent. And then you are advanced rotor vertical again. Then you can go touch and hope for you don't clang. Ah, I love it when you don't clang. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Then we can just cut this away. And everything's reconnected. Absolute wonder and glory.
Inventory full.
Building repairs will pick that up.
Inventory full.
I'll just dump off all my stuff here. And grab some more. I need a bunch of stuff for curved conveyor tubes now. I'll just put it all into production. I got plenty of production being out there. Yes, give me motors. I guess all I really do need right now is just internal interior plates so that I can start building stuff myself. Which will be right here. Can I not? Oh. Ooh, garage. Something I can't pull to me. I'm going to have to investigate that. Why I have some cargo that I can't get to. Because there's components there that I want. Okay. So there you go. Now we can see how high this thing can go. Pistons vertical. 0.3. It can handle that. Oh. And now it's glorious. And then as well, as we're routing it up here, let's do the horizontal. And right out here on the printer head. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this thing is a little big. I think we're going to do it. We'll get this fully extended. We'll take a measurement. Essentially, I'll put a waypoint on the printer head like this, and then I'll jump down to the ground and see what the height is. Or better yet, I can just take a spectator camera view of it once it gets all the way up. And then we can see how high this thing is. And then from there, we need to build an actual platform for it to fly around with. It's going to need a lot of thrusters in order to hold this thing up. It's not going to fly unfurled like this, but it will fly all packed up. How high is this thing going to go? Holy crap. Alright. It's still extending. I have a feeling when it gets to full height, it's gonna like bounce and like throw me off. At least my character. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's at full height right now. So let's go put a temporary GPS down and let's fly back down to the ground level. Be in line, sort of ish, yeah, about there with the bottom of it. 470-ish meters, maybe 475 in total. For like 460 for sure. This thing is huge. This contraption can be seen from space, sort of feeling. God, this thing is going to be disturbing. And then, once you're up here, you'll unlock the rotor here, and you'll give this thing a velocity. And you'll have all of these printers, all these welders, welding away at a building. Oh, this is glorious. Okay. So let's stop you up and lock you up. And then... please bring me down again. Reverse the horizontal in. Reverse the vertical. And let's get this thing to all pack back up. And what should be absolutely fine is this shouldn't impact, as this isn't far enough. Yeah, because that goes around the outside, and so I shouldn't hit the vertical pistons when this all packs up. Excellent! Woohoo! So that works. Okay, next is we need to make this be able to fly. So let's add out some additional structure to it. And then we're going to need to place a absolute ton of thrusters on it. So 4 out for now in every direction. And atmospheric thrusters. What I'm thinking is we'll start off with large atmos right here on the side, right in line with it. And that'll be where we'll start, right in line with that center. Because what's the closest I can get another atmo in is there. Let's do one gap. So 6 large atmospherics to start with to haul this thing around. Although I believe I'd like to go out until I have 8 large atmospherics, because I also think that I want to do some cargo on this thing so that if I want to, I can build away from my network. So while I'm in the city, I can easily wire this thing into the conveyor network, and I don't have to worry about it having resources. But while I'm away, I don't want to have to worry about running a line out to where it's going to work. I'd like to just be able to just be like, hey, I'm just going to load up a large cargo container of this resource and a large cargo container of this, component, and then fly off somewhere and just build it. And also that means I can be used as a essentially giant building machine at another planet. I could take this thing to Mars if I wanted to build giant factories there. Oh, but look at that. Oh, that's coming together so nice. So I think, let's see, cargo. Large cargo container. I think the best way to fly it will be with this tucked in like it is now. So if I turn this to just to 0 for now and give it a little bit of speed, it'll tuck into 0 and there. So that's how I want to stow it while I'm flying it. So I don't think I can put any cargo containers right here. No, they're not going to fit. So back here will be batteries. Some batteries, because this thing is going to need a bunch of batteries in order to power its flight. And then on top of this will be a bunch of gyros, and that should fit. Right? Yeah, that should fit. If I put gyroscopes right in here, yeah, they'll tuck right in. It'll be beautiful. I want all these gyroscopes to be aligned. If they're not all aligned, I will go absolutely nuts. Why is that not staying aligned for me? Oh no. Oh no. Please, gyros, be all the same orientation. Why are you constantly resetting orientation on me? Okay. They're not behaving. I just have to deal with it. But I believe I'm going to need all these gyros, especially if the craft is going to have like a bunch of cargo containers on it as well. Now, to offset the weight of batteries and gyros, and especially this hanging off the side, I'm thinking that we're going to have some cargo containers right here. And we want them to be 1 block away from the piston assembly. And we want 1 block in between so that we can run conveyors between them. Just for looks, we won't actually need these. We'll put a piston conveyor tube there, and in the bottom, I'm going to take out that bit of floor and run conveyor junctions across here. So here and there, and then put in junctions. And I'm using junctions so that I have some structural integrity in that area, and so that the containers aren't just sort of floating on top of a bunch of tubes. A couple, or maybe another couple? How long do I want to make this thing? I think just a couple large cargo containers. At least for now. I should probably put an arm on the front of this, maybe, that will allow me to plug into the main grid. But then, from there, we'll not do that because I want to have that connection available. We'll just narrow this down a bit, give myself a little bit of room, and place a seat somewhere around here so that I can fly this bad beast. Oh, this thing is going to be absolutely stupid. It is getting too close to these build and repairs. I'm thinking at the front here, we're actually going to have a small piston assembly, maybe one of these 1x1 pistons. Maybe sunk in right here, like that. And then on that will be, oh, definitely a connector of some kind, but maybe a curved downwards, and then another piston, another 1x1, and then a connector. I don't know. Maybe just a straight out one. Just like so. Because then that will be able to move out a little bit and to connect up with something. But I might need this thing to wiggle around. I might need to put like maybe a hinge on it. But I might need to just make it so that the when I run a connection to it, I'll have to do the work to make sure it connects in properly to it. Anyway, the last thing, landing gear. And we're going to soup up the landing gear on this thing. We're going to go in line with the first engine here, and we'll put 1 and 2 on each thing here. And I think we'll align with the middle engine as well. So we'll get a nice thick landing gear. So we can land anywhere, and we can land a lot of weight, and we can make sure we're nice and flat wherever we land. And then, the only thing I need to do is make sure that this piston, I believe that'll extend down low enough. So let's change you to upper limit of 90. And then we'll rotate you out slightly to see if we can get you down there. So that should nicely rotate away. Good. It's nice, good clearance. And then this thing, we can flip its maximum velocity. Just go to reverse and extend it down. And then we can see what level this extends down to. Because if in the perfect world, this would be the level that we're landing on, it would be able to reach all the way down there. Which it may not be able to do perfectly, but if not, that's fine. I can adapt. So it can't reach all the way down. What do we? We're one block short, eh? Yeah, because if we ran this block from here out, it would be in line with there. So we're one block short of distance. It's fine. You know, at this point, this thing is already becoming such a massive monster that being one block short here, I can deal with that. This thing is so big. This is going to be the stupidest thing ever that I've built. And we shall reverse that into position. And then once it gets back there, we can rotor lock it. Get into position faster. And rotor lock. Excellent. It's in stowed position. So, we have the landing gear. We have the downwards thrust. Plenty of that. But we need more thrust, as we need some sideways thrust. Some front and back and sideways thrust. So, regular atmospheric thrusters, we're going to need to, and this is kind of why I left some gaps here, is that we can sneak in some sideways thrust in between these gaps. So like right here, all along. And on the other side as well. So that's 4 on each side. Now we're going to need some thrust off the back here, which I'm thinking we can do sort of like a, we do like a staggered, like I can do the same sort of light armor thing going out here, although I don't need to actually have the conveyors. Well, I could have the conveyors continuing out, just in case I wanted to add a connection in the back here. You know, it's not going to hurt. And that way I can have some extra flexibility of where I put my connections. But I can then have like there, and across the back. 5 thrusters for forward thrust. Beautiful. And now we just need some braking thrust, which I should be able to do with some thrusters here at the front, 1 on each side. I'd like this area to be where you stand and operate, so I don't want to fully encase this into thrusters. However, we do have the option of putting them between here. No. I guess, no, because that's not a junction. That's just a tube. So I can put them on top. Just 2? Yeah, 2 on each one. So then I'll have a total of 6 braking. 5... No. 6 forward. I always want to have more braking thruster than forward thruster. That's how I like to run. Because then it makes me feel like I can actually stop on a dime if needed to. So there we go. With all those thrusters, this thing should actually be able to fly. Because we have a bunch of gyros, although they're not finished yet. They need plates. Or, oh, they need motors. Something about my cargo system here is not functioning. So I'm going to need to investigate that, of why some components are stuck in some cargo containers here. And it's probably because there is one-way sorters down here that aren't set up properly, that I'll have to deal with. But I'm going to figure that out off camera, because you don't want me to see me playing around trying to figure out this stuff. Like, oh yeah, like right here, like sorter going in, but what is it doing? But it's coming out? Whatever it is, I'll figure it out. But this is the monstrosity that I am going to be using to build the rest of the city. And it tempts Klang, but I don't care. Come get me, Klang. I'm ready for you. But that is going to be it for now. Thanks for watching. Good hunting out there, fellow space engineers.